Hey fancy, oh you asked it, now no vacancy. Last time see up on FaceTime, chatting up the place, boating on my relationship. Me I go put you on lockdown, I put your body on lockdown.
So let's just jump right into it, guys, because that's why you clicked. So I was not supposed to go to Alexandria. What happened was, I was supposed to have a business meeting and I ended up missing a whole day in Egypt because I missed my flight. And subsequently, I had to arrange a way to recoup, this lost time with somebody who had cleared their schedule just for me. And so I decided the best way to fix it was to drive up to Alexandria. So Alexandria, Egypt is in the northern part of Egypt. It sits right on the Mediterranean and it is a port city / beach town. What is different about Alexandria though is that it has a diverse history. There is a lot to see in Alexandria. You have the catacombs, you have the Alexandria Library, even though it is not the exact library, as you know, the real one burnt down forever ago, but there is a library that is there. One thing I can say about Alexandria, it is just like most cities that I visited outside of Cairo. It has its own face. It has its own personality. And there is an element of home for me there because it is a port city, a beach city. Most persons tend to take day trips to Alexandria. I'm not sure if you can fly up there, but I think there should be a train to Alexandria. I'm not 100% sure, so do not quote me, but I ended up driving. So I don't know if I've said this in any of my other Egypt videos, but if you're going to Egypt and you're not with a tour, I think that it's better to hire a driver to just take you everywhere that you need to go, as opposed to trying to figure it out by yourself, hitchhiking, catching the bus, etc., etc. So I spoke to my driver, Ahmed, who is a chef. He was my culinary guide through all of this. I told him that I needed to get to Alexandria, which takes 4 hours to get to and 4 hours to get from. He agreed, thank goodness, and we got on the road and we headed to Alexandria from Cairo. As we were approaching Alexandria, the clouds got gray and it just started raining. If you know me, you know that I love the rain. So we get into Alexandria and we cross the city's iconic bridge. And as you look to your left, there's a bunch of little colorful fishing boats and it is just so picturesque. Like I said before, that city sits right on the Mediterranean. Every city that I went to in Egypt outside of Cairo really has its own face. It has its own personality, and Alexandria is no exception. When you drive into the city, you can't help but notice the European architecture that just stands right out. And traffic is bananas. Whether raining or not, traffic is always bananas in Egypt. So we get in and I meet up with my friend. He took me and the driver directly to a restaurant because we were starving, and we went to the Syrian restaurant. Apparently there is a pretty large Syrian community in Egypt. I'm not sure if it's all of Egypt or just in Alexandria, but we went to the Syrian restaurant called Bride of Damascus. And guys, the food was excellent. It truly was great. Now, one thing I will tell you, when you are going to an Arab country, and if by luck, if you end up in a native food spot, meaning a restaurant where locals eat, be aware of the food portions. Y'all, them Arabs is giving so much food. And it's like each thing on that menu has like 4 plates. And then it's just so much food. The few Arab countries that I've been to, that has always happened. Every time I order food, if I'm at a native restaurant, not a tourist spot, but a native restaurant, the portion size are always ginormous. So be aware of that. So after I tried all of this delicious cuisine, my guide / acquaintance / friend / potential business partner, he wears all those hats. So he took me around the Bay Area because he knew that, me going to the beachy part of Alexandria, me going on the beach or anything like that, that's not really impressive because I'm from the Bahamas, right? So we went to like the bay area, like where everybody was fishing, and man, it was raining and there were a lot of people fishing off of the pier. And then we went to the palace. We saw the palace. That particular palace was the, I think it was the vacation retreat for the last king of Egypt and the Sudan. Because of the weather, nobody was really outside. And so there weren't a lot of lines. It wasn't congested anywhere that we went. And so I really enjoyed my time. Like I said, Alexandria was not a destination that I had planned. It truly wasn't. So I did not go to too many of the attractions. I just got, I got a native summary, as I would call it, of the entire place. And it was raining. So I couldn't really go to too much places, but I enjoyed the 4 or 5 hours that I was there. I really loved it. Like I always say, your tour guide and your Airbnb host, your driver, these people, they set the tone for the entire time you're there. So when I was in Alexandria, I got a native experience as opposed to a tourist experience. Not to say that I was walking up and down and up in people's house or whatever. No, it wasn't like that. It was more, I think, because the person that I was with was really, really laid back. And as opposed to, let's go to this museum, let's go here. It was, oh, let's go to this coffee shop down the corner. I used to work to this coffee shop, so let's go there, and the owner coming and talking to us, it's so much more welcoming. And, you going to like the fishing area instead of like the beach. So there were more natives there, so I think that's one of the reasons why I really, really liked Alexandria. Yeah. Oh, and something that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. I don't know if I have said this in my Morocco video, but when you are traveling, when you are taking photos, be sure that the person that you're taking photos of has consented to you taking the photo. A lot of times you see the women and they have on these beautiful abayas and you're thinking to yourself, oh, this is such a great shot. Let me just take it. A lot of times they're not comfortable with that. That's the long and the short. They're shy. They don't want to take pictures. They're shy. That's not a situation. They did not consent to that, So that's not cool. So I'm going to tell you right now, unless the person is cool with it, do not do it. I used to do the same thing. I was super guilty of that at one point. And so I had to learn that, how would you like it? So be mindful of that. Yeah. So that is Alexandria. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's travel vlog. If you have not subscribed to this YouTube page, go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every single time I upload a video. I will see you all next week. Bye.